You open a blank page. You're supposed to write about your day. Nothing comes. So you write something small. Today was fine. You close the notebook. You feel like you did something. You didn't. Here's what almost nobody tells you about that exact moment, the one where the page just stares back at you, blank, useless, mocking you a little. That moment is where one of the most powerful men who ever lived started. Not as a leader, not as someone with answers, as someone just as stuck as you are right now. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome. And almost every night, he sat down in front of a page exactly like yours. What he did next, most people who try it today still get it wrong. We're going to fix that, right now.
So who was he really? Marcus Aurelius wasn't born to rule. He was adopted into power, trained for it from a young age, and eventually handed control of the largest empire on earth, at a time when that empire was falling apart around him. War on multiple fronts, a plague sweeping through his own cities, people he trusted turning against him, the kind of pressure that breaks most people. And every night, in the middle of all of that, he sat down and wrote. Not speeches, not policy, not anything meant for the public or even for history. He was writing to himself. We call it meditations now. A book studied in universities, quoted by world leaders, sold in the millions. But Marcus never intended any of that. As far as he knew, no one was ever going to read a single word of it, which is exactly why it matters. When you know no one's watching, you stop performing. You stop trying to sound wise. You stop choosing your words to impress. You just ask yourself the truth. Did I act well today? Where did I lose control? What would the wiser version of me have done in that exact moment? Page after page, that's mostly what you find. Not grand philosophy, not perfect answers. A man, alone, checking his own work. He didn't write to be admired, he wrote to be honest. And that one distinction, honest, not admirable, is the entire foundation of everything we're about to walk through. Here's a question worth sitting with for a second. When was the last time something actually slowed you down? Not because you forced it, but because you chose to stop. We live in a world built for reaction. Something happens and within seconds you respond. An email, a comment, a look someone gives you. React, react, react. Barely any space between the moment and what you do about it. The Stoics saw this exact pattern 2,000 years before phones, before notifications, before any of it. And they came to a conclusion that still holds up today. Reaction is fast, but reaction is rarely wise. Reflection, on the other hand, is slow on purpose. It's not about silence for its own sake, and it's definitely not about escaping life by sitting quietly somewhere. The Stoics didn't pull back from the world to avoid it, they pulled back to see it more clearly. That's the actual function of reflective meditation. Not retreat, observation. You step back from your own thoughts and emotions just far enough to look at them, instead of just being run by them. So you start asking sharper questions. Why did I get angry in that moment? Was I actually chasing something that matters, or just chasing relief, or attention, or being right? When I responded the way I did, was that wisdom talking, or was that ego wearing wisdom's voice? That last question is the one that matters most, because ego is good at disguising itself. It rarely announces itself directly. It shows up dressed as justice, as standing your ground, as simply being honest. Reflection is what lets you catch the disguise. And here's the part most people miss. This isn't about judgment. You're not sitting down to put yourself on trial. You're sitting down to understand. Once you start seeing your own patterns clearly, the same triggers, the same impulses,
The same stories you tell yourself in the heat of the moment. Something shifts. You stop experiencing your life as something that just happens to you. You start experiencing it as something you're actively shaping. One reflection, one honest answer at a time.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Not the philosophy of it, the practical sit-down tonight version. First thing to let go of, Stoic journaling isn't a diary. You're not recording what happened today like a list of events. That's not what this is for. Think of it less like a logbook and more like a mirror, something that reflects who you actually are, not just what you did. So here's where you start. Find a quiet space. It doesn't need to be anything special. A chair, a corner of a room, 5 minutes before bed. Morning or night, it genuinely doesn't matter which. What matters is that you actually show up and that you're honest once you're there. Start small. You don't need 10 questions. You need one. What did I do well today? Or where did I fall short? Or, the sharpest one, was I guided by virtue today, or was I guided by impulse? Pick one. Write until you run out of honest things to say about it. That's it. That's a complete entry. Don't write to impress, not even yourself. There's no audience for this page. No one's grading it. Let the thoughts come out a little messy if they need to. Messy and honest beats polished and empty every single time. A few things worth including once you've got the basic habit going. Gratitude. Even one sentence. A kind word someone said to you. A small win. A moment that actually felt good. This matters more than it sounds like it should. Gratitude roots you in what you already have, instead of constantly chasing what you don't. And don't avoid your mistakes when they show up on the page. This is the part most people get wrong instinctively. They treat a mistake in their journal like evidence against themselves, something to feel bad about. Stoicism asks you to see it differently. A mistake isn't a stain on who you are. It's a teacher that showed up uninvited, but showed up anyway. Each one is just information, a lesson, waiting for you to actually look at it instead of looking away. Do this consistently, even imperfectly, and something starts to happen. Your journal stops being just paper and ink. It becomes a conversation between who you are right now and who you're actually trying to become. Now let's talk about the part nobody puts in the highlight reel. Some nights you'll sit down and the page will just stare back at you. Blank, unmoving, same as it was at the very start of this video. You'll ask yourself, what do I even write tonight? And nothing comes. That's not failure. That's just one of the nights. It happens to everyone who's ever tried to keep this practice alive. It happened to Marcus too, almost certainly, even if he never wrote that part down. When that happens, don't force depth. Start smaller than you think you need to. How am I, really? Not the version you'd say out loud to someone who asked. The real answer. What's actually sitting underneath the surface today? Sometimes your entries will feel shallow, repetitive, like you're writing the same 3 sentences you wrote last week. That's okay too. This isn't about producing something impressive. It's about staying present with yourself, even when presence feels boring. If you want to go deeper on a night like that, try sharper questions. Why did that one comment bother me more than it should have? Why did I keep avoiding that task all day? What would the version of me I actually want to be have done differently in that exact moment? Then there's the other barrier, the bigger one, honestly, consistency. Life gets busy. You miss a night, then you miss another, and there's a voice that shows up right around then,
telling you that you've already failed, so what's the point of starting again? Here's the thing about that voice. It's lying to you. Stoicism was never about rigid, unbroken perfection. It's about sincere, imperfect return. You don't need a streak. You need a willingness to come back. And when you do sit back down after missing a few nights, you might feel the urge to judge yourself for it. I should have known better. I should be more disciplined than this. Try replacing that instinct with a different one. Your journal isn't a courtroom. You're not on trial here, and you're not the prosecutor either. It's a sanctuary. Replace blame with curiosity. Replace shame with intention. Ask, what happened? Instead of, what's wrong with me? And if you're ever wondering whether any of this is actually working, whether 5 minutes with a notebook is really doing anything at all, it is. Quietly, slowly, the way water carves stone, not the way a hammer breaks one. You won't feel it happening day to day, but it's happening.
So what actually happens if you keep going? Not after one entry, after weeks, months. The kind of consistency that doesn't feel dramatic while it's happening, but quietly rewires something underneath. Here's the first thing most people notice. A small pause that wasn't there before. Something happens. Someone says something sharp. Plans fall apart. A small crisis hits. And instead of reacting instantly the way you used to, there's a half-second gap. A flicker of space between what happened and what you do next. That gap is the entire practice, finally showing up in real time. You start catching yourself earlier. Not after the damage is done, replaying it in your head that night, but in the moment itself, while there's still time to choose differently. You'll also start noticing patterns you couldn't see before. The same fear showing up in different outfits. The same doubt, dressed differently each time, but unmistakably the same voice once you've seen it enough times on the page. But it's not just the difficult patterns that surface. You'll notice your strengths too, the things you consistently do well, the moments you're proudest of, the version of you that shows up more often than you give yourself credit for. Writing becomes less about recollection and more about renewal. Each entry untangles a little of whatever knot the day left behind. Each one clears a bit of noise, so the next day starts slightly less cluttered than it would have otherwise. You don't stop facing chaos. Life doesn't get calmer just because you journal, but you stop being only at its mercy. That's the actual shift. Not a life with fewer problems, a mind with more room to meet them clearly. So tonight when you sit down, or even right now if you've got 5 minutes before you do anything else, try this. One question, just one. Was I guided today by virtue or by impulse? Write until you run out of honest things to say about it. That's the whole practice. That's how an emperor started, and it's how you can start too. Marcus Aurelius put it simpler than I ever could. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if thou wilt ever dig. You don't need permission to start digging. You just need the page and 5 honest minutes. If this gave you something to actually use tonight, that's exactly what this channel is for. Practical philosophy, not just theory. Subscribing means you won't miss the next one, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need exactly this. One more thing before you go. Drop a single word in the comments, the word that describes what came up for you while watching this. Just one word. I read every single one, and I want to know what's actually sitting with you right now. In the next video, we go somewhere a little different. We turn this same Stoic lens outward, toward the natural world, and what it means to live sustainably, in harmony with something far older and far larger than any one of us.
If reflection on the self interests you, wait until you see what the Stoics had to say about your place in everything else. Until then, keep the pages turning.